What was a loophole that you found and exploded the hell out of? My university had this stupid rule where we couldn't have pets in our dorms, not even fish. The punishment was a $500 fine and immediate removal of the animal. But my therapy cat, Luna, helped with my anxiety attacks, and I wasn't about to give her up. Barbara, our dorm supervisor, was absolutely obsessed with enforcing this rule. She had done random room checks for 15 years and bragged about confiscating over 50 pets. She even kept a wall of photos in her office showing all the contraband animals she'd caught, like some twisted trophy collection. My first week, she caught someone with a hamster and made this huge show of calling animal control. While the poor girl sobbed, Barbara just stood there smirking, telling everyone, rules are rules. Dear. I knew I had to be smart about keeping Luna, so instead of just sneaking her in, I spent 3 days reading every single page of the university's housing policies. Most of it was boring stuff about noise levels and trash disposal. But on page 43, I found exactly what I needed. No pets or animals are permitted in university housing facilities unless specifically required for documented medical conditions. The key word was documented. Nowhere did it specify who needed to do the documenting. So I went to my regular therapist and got her to write an official letter stating that Luna was essential for managing my anxiety. I also printed out research papers about the benefits of emotional support animals. When Barbara burst into my room during a random inspection and saw Luna, her eyes lit up like she'd just won the lottery. Well, what do we have here? She already had her phone out to call animal control. I calmly handed her my folder of documentation. Luna is my registered emotional support animal. Here's all the paperwork. Barbara flipped through everything, her face getting redder by the second. This isn't a service animal. It's just a regular cat. Actually, I pulled out the highlighted policy. The rules only specify animals required for documented medical conditions. They don't mention service animals specifically. My therapist has documented that Luna is medically necessary for my anxiety. Would you like her phone number to verify? Barbara stormed off to call the housing director. An hour later, they both showed up at my door. The director, Mr. Wright, seemed more amused than angry as he reviewed my paperwork. She's technically correct, he told Barbara. Our policy doesn't specify what kind of documentation is needed or who needs to provide it. The letter from her licensed therapist meets the requirement. Barbara looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. Then we need to change the policy immediately. We can't. I pulled out another highlighted section. Policy changes affecting current residents cannot be implemented until the following semester. Mr. Wright actually laughed. In 20 years, you're the first student who's actually read the entire policy manual. Well played. Barbara wasn't done, though. She started doing room checks 3 times a week, trying to catch Luna, disturbing other residents. When that didn't work, she claimed my cat litter was a fire hazard. Then she said Luna's food storage violated some obscure cleaning code. The final straw came when other students realized what I'd done. Within 2 weeks, 5 more residents got similar letters from their therapists. By midterms, there were 12 emotional support animals in our building. Barbara completely lost it. She started taking photos of everyone's pets and threatening to report us all to the dean. But the best part, 2 of those photos showed cats sitting on windowsills. A violation of her own precious safety rules about windows being clear of obstruction. Mr. Wright finally stepped in and told her to back off. If you're going to enforce rules so strictly on students, you need to follow them yourself. Those windowsill photos are evidence of your own violations. The next semester, they completely rewrote the pet policy. Now, it required extensive medical documentation and approval from multiple university departments. Story 2. We didn't order for your kids, my mom said, sliding them napkins while my sister's daughters unwrapped their $65 pasta and dessert boxes at the family reunion. Her husband added, "Be grateful they were invited." Just whispered, "Copy that." When the waiter returned, I stood up and said, "My name is Chris, I'm 34, the middle child, and the one who gets called when the family group chat is stressed about logistics. I teach 9th grade algebra at a public high school. I like clean white bars, cheap coffee, and predictable schedules. I have a son, Max, who is 9, and a daughter, Lily, who is 6. Their mom and I split 3 years ago. We co-parent like we run a small business. Shared calendar, alternating weekends, receipts saved in a folder named Kids, Real Expenses. In my family, I'm the guy who understands numbers, which somehow turned into the guy who is always good for it. My older sister, Jen, is the favorite. She has 2 girls, a shiny SUV, and an Instagram where every caption ends with grateful. Her husband, Trevor, sells solutions for some company that pays him in jackets with logos. My mom floats between baking advice and moral lessons, depending on the day. Dad watches sports with the volume low and says, "Don't start." I'm not dramatic. I like things that add up. I like when a pizza has 8 slices and everyone takes 2. I like when a receipt says what it says. That's why I got good at living small. I know the price of milk and the exact time the laundry room is empty. The kids and I make pancakes on Sundays and pretend they're math problems. If Dad flips 3 pancakes per minute, how many pancakes before Lily starts eating the chocolate chips from the bowl? Family reunions used to be at my grandparents' house. Plastic tablecloths, delailed eggs, and aunt crying in the driveway. This year, Mom booked a restaurant for comfort because Grandpa's knees are bad and because she wants the kind of pictures where everyone looks like they taste old money. She sent the invite with a PDF agenda. Arrive 5:45, group photo 6:10, dinner 6:30, cake 7:20, smart casual, children welcome. There was a line about family style to prevent over-ordering and a winky emoji. I dress like a teacher who's trying too hard to look like he's not a teacher. Clean shirt, the one belt that isn't peeling. Max wore a dinosaur t-shirt under a sweater because he said the sweater was for tricking people. And Lily wanted her sparkly shoes because restaurants like sparkle. We brought crayons and a bag of apple slices. I told them we were meeting the cousins and there would be bread. Bread always sells it. We got there early because I'm allergic to being late. The place had white tablecloths and servers who carried 3 plates per hand like a magic trick. Mom waved us over to the long table like a TV host doing a reveal. "Look at you," she said, kissing the air near my cheek. Teacher chic. Jen glided in 2 minutes later. Daughters in matching bows. Trevor behind them with the grin of a man who thinks valet parking is personality. He clapped me on the shoulder. "Professor Chris just missed her," I said. The waiter did the speech. Family-style starters in trays curated for variety, kids' boxes with pasta, fruit, dessert, and a craft element. He smiled like he loved his job. I believed him. While he talked, Mom slid a stack of napkins toward my end of the table. She fanned them out like playing cards right in front of Max and Lily. "We didn't order for your kids," she said soft like it's a favor. "They can nibble from the mains." "We don't want to spoil their appetites." "They're not boys," I said. "Quick habit. One of them is Lily." Mom fluttered her hand. "You know what I mean?" Jen leaned in toward her girls. "Guess what?" She whispered loud enough for the table. "Surprise boxes with desserts." The girls squealed. Trevor drummed the table with his fingers like a drumline of approval. The waiter came back with 2 cardboard carriers shaped like little houses. He set them down in front of Jen's kids. 2 kids' packages, he said. 65 each. He turned his polite face toward me. "Should I bring 2 more?" I opened my mouth. Mom's hand moved before mine. She nudged the napkins closer to Max and Lily like she was dealing a different kind of meal. "No, we'll share," she told the waiter. "We're a sharing care family," Trevor added without looking at me. "Be grateful they were invited." He said it like a joke. That wasn't a joke. The back of my neck warmed. Max tugged my sleeve. "Are napkins food?" "Not yet," I said. The table got loud in the way families get loud. Stories layered over stories. The waiter floated in and out with plates, salad bowls, baskets of bread. My kids reached carefully, said please, said thank you. Drew a maze on the paper kids menu that wasn't meant for them. Jin's girls unwrapped their boxes like presents. Everyone nodded like this was normal. The first trigger wasn't the napkins. It wasn't even the line about being grateful. It was the moment Mom caught the waiter's eye when he hovered with the black leather check presenter like a bird waiting to land. She tipped her chin at me. The way people gesture at trash cans when they want you to know where to put things. "Chris will settle," she said light like she was doing me a kindness. "He's our numbers, man." The waiter looked at me. I looked at my kids. Something in my chest clicked from later to now. I didn't stand up, not yet. I just put a flat palm on the table and felt it steady under my hand. I said the quietest thing I've said in years, mostly to myself. Copy that. And when the waiter returned, I was ready to say something I'd avoided for a decade. I didn't become the family wallet on purpose. It happened slowly, like dishes piling in a sink. When you finally notice, it's not one plate, it's all of them. When I was 15, Mom asked. The group photo slot at 6:10 ghosted past us. People gathered coats like shields. The cousins kept their eyes on their shoes. Jin said, Wow, like a prayer that didn't reach heaven. I signed my slip, tipped the waiter like a person who has watched people carry more than plates and stood. From now on, I said to the table, I pay for what I order and who I bring. That's it. Mom opened her mouth, closed it, then turned to look for a camera that wasn't there. I helped Max and Lily into their jackets. We walked out into the kind of evening that smells like someone else's dessert. My phone buzzed in my pocket like a trapped bee. I didn't look outside. The air felt like math done cleanly. The car hadn't left the parking lot before my phone lit up like a slot machine. Jen, you humiliated me. Mom, call me. Trevor, not cool, man. We're not your ATM. Aunt Karen, sweetheart, I think you overreacted, but we love you. I put the phone face down in the cup holder. Chocolate or vanilla? I asked. Chocolate? Both kids said. We got milkshakes at the drive-thru with the big neon ice cream cone. I told the kids we were celebrating surviving the fancy restaurant. They clinked paper cups and declared it an official holiday. At home, after showers and pajamas and one more page twice, I sat on the couch and opened the family group chat. The messages stacked. Mom, I don't know who you think you are. Mom again, I have done everything for you. Jen, as a mother, I can't believe you'd make dinner about money. Trevor, a Venmo request for $22.40 labeled bread plus shared apps. I typed, deleted. Then I wrote one clear message. New policy for me. No group bills. No, we'll settle later. No babysitting invoices. I'll pay for what I order and who I bring. If it's a real emergency, call me. If it's not, budget. I put the phone down. It buzzed so much it migrated across the table like a little bug. I flipped it into Do Not Disturb and wrote a sticky note in block letters. You're allowed to ob. I stuck it to my laptop because yes, I'm corny and also because that's how I remember things. Morning. The kids ate cereal with heroic amounts of banana. I checked my email. One from Trevor with the subject line friendly reminder attaching an Excel sheet labeled running totals. I didn't open it. I archived it. I took the kids to school and daycare, waved at the crossing guard, and felt something in my chest that felt like the aftertaste of saying the right thing. At 10:12, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. At 10:20, she left a message that sounded like a speech she practiced in her car. Christopher, she began, which is how I know I'm in trouble. I don't know what got into you. You made me look like a fool in front of my own mother. Your sister is devastated. Trevor is hurt. Be the bigger person. Apologize and I will forgive you. I listened to it twice and heard the line in the middle where she said she would forgive me. I didn't think I needed forgiveness for asking to pay my own bill. At lunch, I microwaved leftover chili in the math department lounge and told myself not to check my phone. I checked it. Jen had posted a story of her girls in matching pajamas with the caption, "Protecting their joy." Trevor posted a boomerang of a wallet snapping shut with the text, "Boundaries go both ways." I muted them both. There was a small pleasure in pressing mute. It felt like turning down a radio that's only static. After school, I graded quizzes at my kitchen table. Lily made a fort out of couch cushions. Max asked if decimals are just tiny fractions that got squished. I told him yes, and we high-fived. The doorbell rang, Mom holding a tin of cookies like a peace treaty. I didn't invite her up. We talked in the entryway with the giraffe from outside tickling my ankles. Let's reset, she said. Family movie night Saturday. I'll make lasagna. No thanks, I said. Her eyes flashed. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not, I said. I'm choosing. She tried the memory card. Do you remember who paid for your braces? Who drove you to tutoring? You act like we never did anything for you. You were my parents. I said that wasn't a loan. And none of that means I owe you for the rest of my life. She lowered her voice. Your sister has a lot on her plate. So do I said 2 kids, 1 salary. I teach Mom, not crypto. She lifted the tin. Cookies. Take them to Jensen's. I said she likes being grateful. Her mouth tightened. Be grateful you were invited. She said out of habit. Stop saying that, I said. I'm your son. She left the cookies on the floor by my door like a package no one wanted to sign for. I left them there until the kids went to bed and then put them in the freezer because I'm not above eating rage cookies later. The week tried me in small ways. Aunt Karen texted, Your uncle can't get his iPad to work. Can you swing by? We'll feed you lasagna. I said, I charge $90 per hour for house calls, with a smiley then followed with, just kidding. No, sorry. It felt good to be unserious and serious at the same time. Jen emailed me an invoice, an actual PDF titled Babysitting Balance Family Rate for 160. There were line items that were not real. One said, watching Max while Chris got a haircut, which was funny because Max was with me at the haircut asking the barber questions about clippers. I replied, no, that's it. Just no. The quiet parts of my day got louder. I made a new sub-account titled Kids Only. I moved $100 on payday. Not much enough to feel like I was choosing my own invoice. I booked the kids into a Saturday community center day camp for the weekends I used to rely on help. It was $35 each, and they came home smelling like gym mats and pride. Max learned to play foosball. Lily learned that whistles are very loud. Mom texted pictures of lasagna from movie night like the food itself would lure us. We missed you, she wrote. It's not the same without your giant bowls. I stared at the photo and thought of my grandmother's mixing bowls that she gave me last year. They've lived at Mom's house since because she said she'd keep them safe. I texted back, please send Grandma's bowls home with me next time you're by. She sent a thumbs up. No words. On Thursday, Grandpa called. He's quiet, but he doesn't pretend. You okay? He asked. I am, I said. Good, he said. Your grandmother says you were right. About what? About the waiter, he said. I laughed. Friday after school, I asked the kids what they wanted for dinner. Breakfast, Lily said. We made pancakes for dinner, measured flour like a lab experiment, and did fractions with measuring cups. Max poured the batter in the shape of the number 8 and yelled, "Infinite pancakes." We ate at the table with the good napkins I bought on sale years ago, the ones we use when we feel fancy. No one sent me a bill for using them. The family chat slowed to a simmer, and then to a weird, polite quiet. People asked if I was coming to things for the first time, like I had a choice. I said no a lot. I said yes to things that didn't require a wallet. I walked the kids to the park on Sunday mornings instead of driving across town for brunch, where the kids' menu is $14 for a dry waffle and a sticker. A small package appeared on my doormat a week later. No note. Inside, wrapped in crinkled tissue paper that smelled like Mom's spice cabinet, were my grandmother's bowls. I washed them and made popcorn in them that night. The kids said the bowls were too big for popcorn, which means they were perfect. Not everything was easy. Jen sent me a midnight text one night. Are we good? The kind of text that isn't a question, it's a trap. I typed, pay your bills. Don't send me invoices for being an uncle. Don't expect napkins to be meals for my kids. I deleted it. I typed, we can be if you stop expecting me to be your budget. I sent that one. She responded with a single word. Wow. I let it float there. The next morning, I took the kids to school and thought about how weird it is that the world doesn't blow up when you set one boundary. I'd been bracing for a storm. Turns out the storm was mostly a group chat and some awkward silence at a table we don't own. Saturday, we went to the library. Max checked out a book about bugs. Lily checked out a book about a bunny that learns to say no. At bedtime, Lily asked, is no a mean word? It's a true word, I said. It makes room for the yes you want. She nodded like that was dessert.